We are back here on the Fight Rundown. A special interview here with my boy Max. How we going, Max?
Yes, brother, you good?
Yeah, we're good. We're in Manchester. Look at the beautiful view going on here.
Invited the guys down to my apartment today. A nice city view in Manchester. Thought we'd mix it up. We're both down. Grimsby boys starting the pod in Manchester.
Innit? Insane. So, instantly, what should we start with? I want to go to your soonest fight that we're about to go into. Like you mentioned, you are from Grimsby, training with Jim Bateman, which is it in Grimsby, if I'm right? Yeah.
Yes, so my head coach...
Here, roughly.
My head coach is Jim Bateman, UK MMA vet, really. And then I do all most of my training with him, fight out of Bateman MMA. And then during the week when I'm in Manchester, I'll train at Manchester Top Team. Crazy amount of bodies there. Every session is
sort of about 50 men deep, innit?
Yeah, every session 40, 50 guys on there. You're training alongside guys that are in the UFC, Bellator, Cage Warriors, UAE Warriors, PFL, many PFL fighters. Every session you go in there is just it's fire.
You ain't getting a day off in there. You're not getting a day off in there. I mean, you got likes of Lerone Murphy from the top of my head, Sammy Joe Luxton, Darren Stewart.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously you know more detail in them, but you've stacked, isn't it? Absolutely stacked. And then you got it just as stacked at Jim Bateman's. I mean,
and then I love going and working with Jim. I've worked with coaches sort of up and down the country. I used to live down south when I was in the army. I'd go and train then. And there's no coach that's really understood my style, which is like, I haven't been doing martial arts my whole life. I'm not like, I've got a very aggressive style, and we have to use that to my advantage.
Bulldog style as of sorts.
Exactly. We have to use that to my advantage, which I think Jim does very well. I like to the MMA Mike Tyson sort of approach, and so doing my work with Jim and the relationship we have and the way that we understand each other in training, it's just a perfect combination, really.
Yeah, and even the likes of Mikey Barnett, Mikey Bryan, a good friend of the pod, of course, from Complete Kitchen. You train a lot with him?
Yeah,
working with him.
We've got Mikey Bryant there. We've got a heavyweight that fought recently on the Almighty card in Adam Wheatley. He's got bags of skill. But one of my favourite and most often training partners is young Alex, a Romanian kid. He's 17 years old. One-on-one, fighting out of our gym, and he has got a bright future ahead of him. He's my weight. His heart is just unquestionable. His skills are coming on amazing. He's fast. So one of my hardest spars when I'm training back in Grimsby is with a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah, he's got the dog in him, innit?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's just Jim Bateman. He was the first one to train me. I did like 3 years MMA. And
is it?
Yeah, original fight ministry.
Yeah.
I was like 11 to 14.
When's the Fight Rundown fight coming in?
I'll call balls out. Well, to be fair, I saw the BMF MMA on the story that put people that wanted.
Yeah.
I was an 89 kg debuting.
Yeah.
I was like, me and Balls either of us could take that.
I want to see it.
I would have tried to talk Balls into getting onto it.
Yeah.
We'll be the head coaches. You know what I mean?
Balls was doing boxing before, yeah.
Yeah. He's obviously the same with myself, but he's 2-2 and just taking a bit of a break at the moment. Nice. But he's going to be back in there. And if you want to see some of our sparring footage, at the Fight Rundown on Instagram, of course.
We're going to get you both over to the dark side and have you in the cage, definitely.
It'll happen for me, 100%. It's got to. We'll talk about your first fight. For you, a very controversial decision. I think for most it was as well.
If we run it back to the first timeline, the first fight, that was...
your first BMF fight is the one I'm on about.
But the first BMF fight, that was the 1 minute KO win, the first one.
Oh right, that's it.
So we've got through my record. Obviously, it's 1-3. We're about to get the win back in a few weeks, but we started off with Gareth Wright with a 1 minute KO. Then we had the Talib Mode fight of the night. Then I went on to then I had the Almighty Fighting controversial.
That's the one,
stuff. And then I had the BMF just out in recently where.
I thought your last two were in BMF. To be fair,
4 fights deep now. So do you want to start from the start?
Why not? Let's do it. Yeah, nasty KO.
So we started, we debuted on BMF, good friends of mine, an amazing show.
Yeah.
Up against Gareth Wright, he had experience. So this was my first fight in any combat sports. He had a couple of wins in MMA, couple of losses, couple of boxing fights. I think he might have had a K1 fight.
How old is this kid?
He's late 20s.
Right, yeah.
He's from Lincoln, so down the road from us. So he was coming in. He was game, experienced. So I thought that was a good place to debut against. Went in at middleweight, 84 kilo, which is just insane. Didn't cut any weight.
You walk around at 84. Or
I walk around about 83.
I was going to say you don't look about.
Before I debuted, I was about 87 just because I was lifting weights, and I didn't plan to fight.
Yeah.
So I'm only 12 months into my MMA training when I first accepted that fight. When I fight on July 15, that'll mark 1 year since my debut.
Ah, right, okay.
And before that, I was just throwing hands, just boxing, but not competing. So that fight got brought to us and to Jim. I was like, let's do it. So we started grappling, we started training, all that. And like I say, went in against an experienced kid that fancied it, and at 84 kilo, and that was within a minute put him out.
Yeah.
Not much more to it. Got back to work, and that's when we got offered Talib Mode for my second fight, again on BMF.
Yeah.
He was a good competitor. A lad from Scotland came down his debut, and we just had an all-out war. The first shot of the fight he fired was a high kick, which I'd slipped into, and his knee caught my eye and actually fractured my eye socket, which I've never actually spoke about publicly. So
really? Breaking it on the fight right now?
Yeah, because I don't make excuses and whatnot, and it's not an excuse. And so
I think you sent me a picture after. That's when we first and it was about out here, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I thought it was just a black eye at first, and then my whole face swelled up, ended up going to hospital and whatnot, and I had a fractured eye socket. So, but we had a war. It got fight of the night.
Nice.
Come out on the losing end of that, but I enjoy them ones. You can't have too many wars, but.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have one, innit? Or Justin Gage says he wants to have 5 wars before he retires.
Yeah.
And he didn't even count the Chandler one as a war, which says it all about him.
He's an absolute carcass. Yeah. That guy he's the inspiration.
I mean, he's dialed it down now.
Yeah.
He just drives into a wall with a seatbelt on. Yeah, I mean,
as
Justin
Poirier
says,
that.
I had to repeat that one. That was cold line.
Absolutely class, yeah.
And then, obviously, your last two, fair to say, it's been a close ones. I'm not saying I think maybe the last one was a win, but the first one close.
So then the second to last went in against a real experienced grappler. Was definitely got the better of in the grappling exchanges. It's something he'd been doing his whole life. Been wrestling for like a year, so no shame in that. It was a good matchup, good experience, but we got touched to the ground. Took one smack to the side of the face, and the referee stopped that one. So I wasn't happy about the stoppage, but
I mean, you got straight back up, didn't you?
Protested it straight away.
Yeah.
There was no power behind the shot, but the ref
clean, wasn't it? Yeah.
The ref made his call there. And into the last one, which is the most exciting, back on BMF show.
I do think they have the best shows in terms of
the production, the matchmaking.
Yeah,
the way they treat the fighters. There's fighter pay for amateurs, earning off tickets and stuff like that. The guys that run it, Connor and Steve, absolutely.
Which one's the bald guy?
Connor Halliday.
Yeah, he seems like the man
from the Unit MMA.
I spoke to him a bit.
He's a sweet guy, and looks after everyone, makes sure everyone's sorted. It runs smoothly as well. Like when they'll tell you what time you're fighting and stuff. Like I've fought on other shows, and they'll pretend you're fighting earlier than you are, so you turn up to the venue and whatnot. But because I like to run it a bit different on fight day. I like to sort of stay home. We've got the pool here, and I'll go and chill and keep
the nerves down.
Keep real zen and sort of roll in last minute, get a medical, and get straight in, because I don't want to be sat in the back for 6 hours.
No.
Watching people get knocked out and this and that. Like I've got a lot of confidence, which is maybe a positive, or maybe I'm delusional. I never believe. I believe I will win every fight I ever go into, even into the future. In my head, I will never lose again.
Yeah.
But you sit there, and it's your fight coming up, and you're fighting some crazy guy from the other side of the country, or in my case, sometimes the world.
Yeah.
And you see people get knocked out and you're thinking, oh, would that be me? Da, da, da. So I like to stay at home and keep it chilled. And BMF are real honest with your time.
Pretty long events as well.
Yeah.
It's not like they're a short event. So
yeah, like 10-hour cards and stuff like that. It's crazy. But yeah, we went up against Ryan Shaw in the last fight, and he's fairly local to me. I've not heard of him before.
Yeah.
I've heard of his team, and we was both reached out to do media before the event.
Oh,
and
really?
I feel like I kept mine pretty humble. I said he's very clean, like technical.
Yeah.
It's like his strikes come from where they're meant to. There's not much.
Follows the processes.
Yeah. And so I said he's good. I said I believe that I'll finish him inside the 3 rounds, which we nearly did.
Yeah.
He came out in the media, was talking all kinds of shit, saying that I'm nothing. I've just got power. He's gonna play with me. This, that, da 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 da.
On the amateurs.
On the amateurs, talking like McGregor. So I just thought I've liked everyone I've fought, but I think he's a prick.
Yeah.
And so we got in there. His best quote was, "I hope that he's got armbands because I'm going to take him to deep waters and make him drown."
You said that?
No, that's what he said.
That's a bar. I can't lie. You got 10-8 there.
But he got 10-8 in the first round. If you go back and watch on my Instagram, you'll see I shout the quote back to him.
Oh, did you?
When I'm beating his leg down, and so we went into that fight, and that's where I felt my most complete in MMA. There was some good takedown defense. Don't get me wrong, you got a few takedowns. I managed to get back up from 90% of them. I beat his leg up because I'm not.
Almost finished him.
I throw kicks in the gym, but I haven't thrown many in fights, so I started throwing my kicks.
Yeah.
I actually threw a spinning back kick to the body, and my coach was like, "What is going on?" So yeah, I feel like I controlled the first, beat him up. The second, he took me down quite a lot of the rounds, so he got the second. And then in the third, I almost finished him. I almost knocked him out, almost finished him, had him on skates.
Put that clip right here as well.
We'll put it in. Got him in a guillotine where I just didn't quite pull the technique right. I was a bit exhausted. And then he took me down for the last 30 seconds of the round and went to a split decision, and somehow he won.
I'll give you the first and the third, to be fair.
Exactly. I've been calling for the rematch. I asked BMF, Connor. I tagged him on Instagram the next day when I was training, but I've not had anything back. So.
Yeah, but you have got a fight booked July 15th, and are you raring to go? You ready to?
Yeah, so July 15th, it's like my chance to right my wrongs.
Yeah.
I've been in good fights against good competitors, but it's the last 3 fights are losses on the record. Whether I think it was close, or whether I think I won, or whether I nearly finished them. When you go on Tapology, it says a loss. So there's only so much talking you can do in there. So
yeah. It's all good, but say if I'm talking to someone else and they look at your record, a loss is a loss. So, what do you feel like you got to prove in your next fight, or is there nothing? Is it more just to yourself? You sort of get that win in the book.
I think it's not to myself, because I know I'm confident. Every match that I've lost, I can see small things to change that I feel like could in the future improve that result. So it's more to everyone else, everyone that comes out to support me. I sell a lot of tickets. A lot of people come and watch me every time. Like, it's tough out here these days for people to be spending that much money to come and watch you. It's not cheap.
No.
So it's more for everyone else to prove people right, not to prove anyone else wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Luke Kerrison he's called. I'm coming up and fighting next, and just looking for violence, to be honest. I think he is a BJJ blue belt, but from what I've seen, he don't really take it to the ground. He likes to strike.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big mistake.
I'm pretty sure the definition of a blue belt's you could beat anyone double your weight if they've never trained before. That's the saying of a blue belt. That's what Royce Gracie said.
I'm minimally educated. Obviously, I train jiu-jitsu every week, multiple times a week. But when it got, I don't think I put a gi on in because I actually tried judo.
Yeah.
About 5 years ago.
Listening to this, I did it.
I tried judo about 5 years ago. That was the last time I wore a gi. I go in and try, so in terms of belts and definitions, I'm not well versed.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I couldn't say anything. I mean, I'm not saying I'm no good at jiu-jitsu.
Probably more educated than me though.
Yeah, I was like listening about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you do? What do you do for recovery when training?
So,
Is there any? Are you quite serious in your recovery, eating wise?
so my nutrition, that's 10-10. In previous camps, I've had a well-known. He's more of a bodybuilding coach, but in terms of everything to do with the diet, I had a well-known coach called Ben Bray. He's also a friend of mine. He's getting massive in the fitness industry these days. For my first 2 camps, we worked together because he got my frame down. Because when I started training for my first fight, I was around 87, 84, and then we got down to 77 to compete in the welterweight category. And I brought him on the team, and he was tracking everything: my sleep, my digestion, how I felt after this meal, how I felt after that training session, my heart rate, and I feel like he did the correct job of a coach because I mean I haven't had him on in my last 2 camps, but I'm an incredibly disciplined individual, and I've sort of took the tools what he taught me throughout the process, and I just carry it on. A coach is amazing for accountability, but I probably will get him on it in the future, especially when I go pro. I will be making lightweight, so further down towards 70 kilo. So I'll probably have him back on the team then when it's a hard cut, but 77 is a walk in the park for me to make. So in my nutrition, that is on point. I use the sauna every day. We've got sauna in the building, so that's good. I get 30 minutes sauna in. And then recently, I used to do cold showers, but recently, just last weekend actually, went out to Marbella on a training trip. I've got a gym
training trip. That one.
I had the fun trip before that, and that it was a training trip. I was on best behaviour, and we had the paddle club, the real paddle club. It's called. It's got like 6 boxing rings, 2 cages.
Yeah, I saw this on Simon Joe Luxon's story. To be fair,
she's just been out there. AJ's been out there before.
Yeah.
There's a couple of BKB world champions there, and it's like
the common spot for top fighters, isn't it? From what it seems
when you've got them facilities and the sun's shining, it's like your mood. We was getting 3 sessions a day in and recovery.
Can anyone go to that?
Anyone can go. It's
if you book it.
It's just turn up on day €15 to get in, and the reason why it's such a good setup.
And you get pads in that.
So the reason why it's such a good setup is the only way to get to train there, you have to pay, and your trainer either has to be a member or pay. So if I could take my coach. Whereas a lot of places it needs to be the dedicated PT to that gym, whereas it can be anyone. Matt was a guy that I got put in touch with. He was very good, but there's 120 coaches that train out of there, so that shortage of options. But that's an extra fee, so it depends who you're going with and what they charge. Just admission to the gym is €15, but where I was going with that is they have the cold tubs and stuff there. So I was doing my 3 sessions. I was doing my boxing or my MMA. I was doing my S&C. I was doing my cardio, and then I'd go back and I'd do my recovery. So was just getting back into cold therapy, which I think I'm going to introduce into this camp. In terms of recovery, something else I've just implemented into the last camp was hot yoga. That is humbling.
What's that?
So obviously, people think yoga's easy. Yoga,
it's a workout.
Yoga,
I've done it once. It's a workout.
Yoga alone is a workout, but when they turn it up to like 35, I don't know how it is. It's like 35 degrees or something.
Oh really?
And just around the corner we've got a little place that does it. They've got heaters above and heated on the floors, and it gets hot.
Tomorrow morning I'm gonna have to hit it
up. We'll hit it up. We'll hit it up.
I'm down. I'm down, to be fair.
Let's do it. It's a serious workout, and just doing your standard yoga poses in that temperature, but puts you through your paces. I'm like the worst person. I'm like, when I walk in, I look like one of the most athletic people in the room. I'm like the worst at it.
Yeah, it sounds pretty brutal, but and you mentioned like what you do in terms of recovery and nutrition. What about out of after a fight? What's the go-to? I've seen you chopping it with Wayne Lineker over here. You know what I mean?
So that's the thing. I do like a party.
I mean, I don't know Wayne. I just know he's like a bit of a meme on the internet, isn't it? I know he's your mate, but I gotta say it.
We'll go with my fight ritual, then we'll go into Wayne, because he's a talking point most definitely. Yeah. So, like I say, I do like to party. I'm extremely disciplined in camp. I don't drink, no alcohol, nothing. I'm super focused. So like, you got to think this is my 5th fight in a year, so pretty active.
Yeah.
So I only get a 1-2 week window between fights where I can have some fun. So usually I'll have an after party from my fight.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of clubs because, especially in the UK, there's too many egos and people. I get bad vibes in there, but usually we'll hit a little.
If you've not got like ball of money that you can just sit on your own. Yeah, I mean, invite whoever you want up.
Yeah.
It's worthless, isn't it?
Yeah. So usually we'll have a nice meal after and we'll hit a little club.
Yeah.
And I like to go straight on a holiday the next day.
Yeah.
So that I'll fight. Because obviously with me running my business and stuff like that, it's like camp's so stressful. I'm working all the hours.
Yeah.
Then I'm training. Everything's on point. So I like to go out, have my after party. Next day, jump on a flight. Favourite place to do that's Dubai because it's like so chilled. Good friends out there.
Yeah.
Have a week or two to myself, then boom, we're straight back into camp for the next fight. I've usually already got eyes on the next fight before I have the fight.
Yeah.
It's crazy these days though. With the amateur circuit, we're seeing like amateurs having like 1-2 fights a year, like they're a top level professional and taking.
Yeah.
I don't believe in taking time out to develop when you can learn on the job. Get in the gym, get learning, and just fight, man. Like
I get that, but at the same time, our first ever sponsored fighter, Joe Horton, I think one of the best. He's the best amateur boxer. I'd say definitely around from what I know, and he can't get fights. You know what I mean? Because he's 15 years old. I think his record's 13-9 or 13-7 ish, maybe 13-4, one of the two. And he's just can't find. No one wants to fight him because obviously he's at that age. I'm thinking you're talking about obviously more older, more senior.
Well, the thing is though, it's the same MMA, but everyone's the same. This is like what I mean. That who's actually fighters these days? Like I'm not saying I'm the most skilled in the world, but I will turn up fighting on any day. Like you say, your man there can't get a fight. Lewis McGrillen, who trains at Top Team, he's just signed to the PFL, and that was purely because he could not get a fight on these sort of shows that he was fighting on as a professional. I think he was 5-0 then. He was literally could not get a fight.
Yeah.
No one wants to fight. As soon as you got a few wins or you're dangerous, I think everyone wants to have that Floyd Mayweather effect. But I'm talking, we're in the amateurs.
Safe wins, innit?
We're in the amateurs. Everyone should just fight everyone. But anyway, enough of my rant about activity. So I'll go on holiday, straight back in camp. But some of the holidays, they do go to Ibiza, and Wayne is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's a meme on the internet, but I'd always like to say, no one has a heart like that guy.
Yeah.
In terms of he supported all my businesses when I was
sick.
when I had my meal prep company. He's got 700,000-800,000 social media followers. He'd promote my company for free. I'll tell him to share this video. He'd promote my company for free. Heart of gold, honestly. So the memes are funny, but he is a lovely man. Yeah,
like I said, I don't know too. I just find him funny. I just find funny how people get annoyed about him. We're just chilling, innit?
Yeah,
just chilling by a pool.
I think he understands social media very well as well. So I feel like a lot of the clips you see, don't be surprised if he intended it for it to be shared. Do you know what I mean?
But when I think about it, I don't know what clips I have seen apart from his face. I just always see his face there. Especially when I open your story up, I was like, he's there, he's like everywhere. But obviously, so you're saying IB for the place?
If I'm allowed to let loose, you'll catch me in Ibiza, but it's that is a big party.
I've got a question for you then. Top place to go after a fight? What are you suggesting? Anywhere in the world?
Out of my travels, what I've done so far, and I think I am quite well travelled, I would definitely say Mexico, Tulum.
Okay.
So, actually after the Talib Mode fight, I flew out there.
Yeah. Cancun or?
So you fly into Cancun, but just up the road an hour away is a place called Tulum.
All right. Okay.
And it's weird because it was designed as a party destination, so I've actually got funny stories about Tulum. So I flew out, got a fractured eye socket. I flew straight into America. My brother got married, beautiful wedding.
Congrats.
Had to wear sunglasses the whole time because my face was mashed up. And that was in New York. And then I went into Atlanta.
Yeah.
And when I went to Atlanta, I realised there was nothing but strip clubs.
Yeah. Major city.
Big city.
Did you get Major City?
I didn't know.
Oh,
no.
no, Magic City.
I didn't. So this is where I'm going with this.
I don't know why I know. I mean, I just listen to the rap music. You know what I mean?
I'm a big. I'm not a big, believe it or not, you're all going to call me out, but I'm not a big fan of strip clubs. It's like, why am I paying you to tease me?
I've never been to one. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
So there was nothing in Atlanta but strip clubs. So I said,
Yeah.
I looked on Skyscanner. I was like, Mexico's not too far away.
Yeah.
So I jumped on a flight to Mexico, super last minute. I didn't have any gloves. I didn't have any shin pads. Obviously, I was on a holiday.
Just get some raise gear.
So I landed into Cancun, travelled up to Tulum, and I see Tulum Muay Thai, it's called.
All right.
Eddie Farrell is a very well-known Muay Thai guy. I don't know a lot about Muay Thai other than Liam Harrison and Jacob Haggerty. That's all I know about Muay Thai. So, but I see this gym, and him and Eddie Farrell and his missus, they've come from Thailand, where they've coached for like 10 years. I believe he's the WBC Muay Thai World Champion or Mexico Champion.
Right, okay.
Tons of experience, and I've seen his gym pop up on my thing. But for some reason, don't ask me why, I always pack my gum shield when I travel.
So not your gloves, not your shin guard, just your gum shield.
Like, we could get into some sparring, you know. I could get offered. So
on the street, he's got to quickly. Hang on, mate. Unlock the suitcase.
Too many of them, but no, I think there could be some gyms. So
yeah,
I turned
it's
up.
not a bad shout.
Turned up. I said, "Look, I'm here for a week. I've never done Muay Thai. I want to. I've just had a fight. It was a loss. It was my first loss. I was a bit down. I was like, I need to keep my eye into training. So it's like, I got a gum shield, nothing else. There was like, everything's dirt cheap out there. There was like 50 pesos or something, and you can rent gloves and shin guards, the sweatiest, stinkiest gloves and shin guards. I'm sure it's like £2 or something. I'm like, sweet. So I just rented gloves and shin guards. My face is swollen. I popped my gum shield in. We're training. I was like, well, I just want to keep fit. For some reason, all Thai guys like to do is spar.
Oh yeah, it's 100%, isn't it? That Philippines, that's all their camp is.
The thing is, I feel like Muay Thai is like whose body's the hardest. Anyway, I end up sparring in Mexico with no equipment against these sick Thai fighters, which is actually quite interesting when an MMA guy fights Muay Thai, because you got the Muay Thai guy throwing like long teeps and using his style, and I'm like angles and cutting and moving.
Yeah.
So we had fun, but I got punched in my eye a few times, and that swelled up even worse. But the beaches and stuff in Tulum, that would be my number one recommendation. I wouldn't recommend going and sparring if that's not your bag. Yeah. But
I know, I'd love to go on holiday. I'd love the idea of going to Marbella and just like train out there.
Yeah.
That was so sick.
I feel like when the sun's on you, it just gives you a different level of motivation. Like,
yeah, true.
The hardest thing about the UK is you get up, and especially in winter, so I'm like an early riser, up 5-6 dark.
Yeah, it's pitch black, yeah.
Get in your car, drive, raining, go to the gym. So mood.
Especially Manchester, it rains all day.
This place has got its own weather circle. It just rains.
I mean, England in general is like awful. Like it's no, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to ask one of the boys tomorrow when they come down if maybe want to go to Marbella. Is it pretty reasonably priced then?
So
Marbella. So if you just went there to train, and it's like, you know what? All I'm gonna do is just obviously maybe go out on a Friday. It's
quite. Marbella's quite expensive.
I was gonna say, I thought it was.
Yeah, so like it's super touristy. Accommodation's quite expensive. We hired a car, that was quite expensive, but the flights are cheap. So this is sort of the dilemma you have if you're traveling for training. Let's say you go to Mexico.
Yeah.
Your flight might be like £600, but your accommodation's going to be dirt cheap and your training's going to be dirt cheap.
Yeah, true.
Whereas
you can't. I won't go to Mexico and just live in like a
favelas.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
You just get broken into, innit? I was like on a resort.
But even in terms of like nice hotels are quite cheap.
All right. Yeah.
But let's say you're gonna go to Marbella to train. Your flight's dirt cheap. You can spend like £100, but I think then your accommodation's quite expensive. Your training's quite expensive. Your nutrition's quite expensive. So this is I feel like you meet somewhere in the middle. The prices sort of, and the trip sort of cost you the same. But for me, it's like Marbella is good for travel time. I might only be able to spare 2-3 days to go there.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're going to travel 10 hours to Mexico, you're going to want a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Is there anything else I want to touch on?
we've gone over my fights. We've got that coming up. What about other fighters we know? We've got we was both recently at Levi Giles' fight. That
All-time legend. I mean,
a lad from Grimsby. He's been on the pod a few times, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the boys, as we call him, honorary member for sure. And obviously, we was both there at the fight. First time we met, actually.
Yeah, in person.
He's just smashing it. June 17th. You looking forward to it?
He's back.
Homecoming.
I'm so gutted that I can't go. We've got a big job on at work, so I can't go. But he's gonna smash that. As for his last fight, that was obviously that was a Levi Giles win by a round. That
is that what you're giving it?
I think he nicked it by a round.
Close one, wasn't it?
It was definitely close, and the thing is, this is like Haney Loma. Like when something's close, you can't call robbery.
Yeah.
I don't agree with robbery. Like the Haney. How did you score the Haney Loma fight?
I haven't watched it back, so I don't want to be that guy go, Loma won, because I did think he won, but 115, 113. But I have to watch it back before saying anything. You know what I mean?
I watched it because I thought that was crazy, and the fact that commentary was just so pro Loma. So when I watched it back, I've watched it back twice now. I downloaded it, and on my flight, I watched it, and I watched it with commentary. And it's like when Loma lands like 2 shots, it's like, oh my god, he's beating him up. And then
I felt bad for Devin Haney.
And then
Haney just gets trolled up.
He'd smash a body shot, and then like say nothing.
Yeah.
So when I watched it back without commentary, I got 115, 113 Haney, but like you can't call it a robbery. Yeah.
It's too close.
You can't call it a robbery.
Have you got who are your favourite fighters? You got a few favourite fighters?
I like the people that go against the grain. So in MMA, like my all-time favourite is John Jones, and like I hate when
scum of the earth.
I love it. What I hate is when John Jones acts like he's a. Well, he obviously is religious, but he's like when he starts talking about God and how he's a good person, I'm like, fuck that. Come with your Mike Tyson. Like you're a fucking crazy guy.
People who listen to the pod know. I say this every time. Yeah. He was on coke, hit a pregnant woman, ran off, ran back, got his gun and his coke, then ran off again. Like you know what I mean, he made the conscious effort to come back, not even check on it, and then just run off again. But he is a madman. He is.
I want to know. So you're a fan of Mike Tyson?
Yes, but there again, I don't know how big Tyson was because I wasn't alive in that era. I know how big he is now, so I can't imagine how big he was back then.
Well, speaking to like my dad and stuff, like he was huge, and it's like he was a degenerate. Like he's in prison, and this and that. And I think if you're gonna subscribe to watch someone fight, like we literally smash each other's faces in. We want to render the other person unconscious. The people that are gonna be best at it are probably going to drive into pregnant women whilst on coke. Like,
kind of true. Is he the GOAT? Is he the GOAT for you?
Goated. No one comes close.
Habib.
Habib's dominant, but like...
Don't forget, I know he didn't do it long enough.
Do you know what I mean?
And he only had 4 defenses. Don't forget, if he really wanted to, he'd still be the champ right now.
I believe so as well.
That's the thing.
I do believe so as well. However, what I do think's mad is everyone's like, he never come close, but we actually have seen him vulnerable a few times.
When?
Was it Michael Johnson who landed a nice shot on him? Way back before he was champ.
Michael Johnson took him to points. So did Ali Quinter.
Ali Quinter landed...
Let's be honest, did they land anything?
No.
Not even marked up.
I agree, but I think...
Conor McGregor was the only one who possibly tested him.
Yeah, and so I feel...
And Poirier got him in a rear naked.
So the thing is with Habib, his grappling was that good that you never really had to see where he was with everything else. So obviously, I think he probably would.
Knock McGregor down.
Yeah, for sure. But that when you fight wrestlers as well, I feel like when someone's that good, like when I fought the experienced wrestler, you're thinking that much about the shot that you are a better stand-up striker than that person, 100%.
Yeah. But you're worried for the takedown, innit?
So worried.
Yeah.
You don't want to be taken down by a guy with that kind of pressure. But that's all part of his game. So yeah, but he has to do it longer for me.
But I'm really favourable towards Habib. I've met him. Yeah, that's why I am.
Where did you meet him?
NEC Birmingham.
Really?
Yeah, I went with my little brother. I went with the family. But me and my little brother met him. Real cool guy. Like, just legend. So you've always got that more kind of convenience when you do see someone. You know what I mean? Like, you got that bias.
You get like a bond.
Of course. If I walk past, I don't know, Anthony Joshua and he told me to go away. You know what I mean? Or that was proper weird with me. Of course I wouldn't like him as much. You know what I mean? That's for Jamie Webster. You know Jamie Webster? He's in LA, Liverpool fan.
No.
Oh, he's the worst person I've ever met. I mean,
Have you met any fighters that they say don't meet your heroes? Have you met anyone that was
Franz Clark, super sick. Check that interview out on the Fight Rundown. Callum Simpson should be coming back on soon. He was pretty cool. I don't know. We met David. We haven't met loads. I haven't met loads of celebs, but the only one who was off was that singer, a Liverpool fan guy. But other than that, everyone's been pretty sound.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, I do meet. I've met a few celebs, but I don't. In terms of celebs, that I just don't give a bollocks about. I mean, in terms of fighters, I get like I met Michael Bisping in Gaucho down the road, and like. We was just chatting and chilling, and he was on the table next to me. I say chilling, we wasn't chilling together.
Yeah.
But I made a few. I obviously knew who he was. I made a few jokes over to his table.
Yeah.
Made jokes back. Let him enjoy his food and whatnot. Didn't bother him too much. But he was like he was a super sick guy in terms of like.
It's because we all grown up now.
Yes. This is what I mean.
I'm not going to run over while he's with his family and go like, "Oh, let me get a picture." And I think all fighters have that humbling experience in it. Yeah. They've not got a ego. Just
normal people, but it's like that was because like I said, I train with alongside some real top level guys. But in terms of like Bisping being a legend of the game, that was a cool person to meet. Like retired now, like done it all, like had the strap, and it's like that was a cool one. But he was a sick guy.
You versus him with one eye. Put them together, you have a decent athlete.
I'd still be done even with at this age. What do you think to the UFC London card coming up? That's
kind of dead.
Yeah,
but I think it's good for the people who haven't been able to go yet. I think I'll be trying to get them. I think they came out today actually.
Yeah, it's like 170 to sit in the nosebleeds.
Is it again?
200 to sit in the bleachers, and like 600 if you want to actually watch the fight.
Yeah, I mean, Kaya who's should be on pod this Tuesday. Make sure to check that one out live on Spotify and Apple Music. He has some real good seats, and I mean, he said it was one of the best experiences he's ever had. So everyone who says go say it's the best experience. You know what I mean? So it's a full on show, but. Like you said, do I really want to go, especially where we're from? I mean, all that way.
Yeah, did you? It's like let's take Levi's fight for example on Boxer. Yeah. Like I think I paid 60 quid for the ticket, and I'm sat very close to then spend like 200 and be sat. I wouldn't mind spending 200 if I could see if I had a good view of the fight.
True.
But you don't want to be sat back there. But I am excited to see Tom Aspinall come back. I think once John Jones retires, he's the champ.
Yeah. I don't know. What's that new guy? The Russian.
Sergio
Pavlyucic.
Yeah.
Pavlich or something like that. He's gonna kill Aspinall.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I think Aspinall outclasses him. They've been scheduled to fight twice, you know.
Have they?
And one time. So Sergio's Russian, I believe.
It's Sergey. That's Sergey Pavlovich.
I think. The first time was around the whole Russia what went on, and he didn't get a visa.
All right, okay.
Second time it fell apart, so I feel like they're on a collision course though.
That should be the interim title fight because I think John's going to be done after the Miocic fight, from what he's saying anyway.
Yeah, who else is there?
What for me?
No, I'm saying like who else is there for him to fight? He's fought every contender in like heavyweight. True. Like he's not going to be.
There's a money draw as well. That's also. What's the point of fighting someone like Aspinall?
It's a shame about the Francis fight because that would have been the biggest.
I think it might happen still.
John won't go to the PFL though, will he? And
France only on a 2-fight deal.
Is it?
Yeah, but he's guaranteed $2 million for his opponent, isn't he?
But what I wonder about that deal is, who's he fighting in the PFL?
Exactly.
That anyone wants to see.
Like, I guarantee I know 0 names from. I know like the one heavyweight champion, and that's about it. I can't tell you any other PFL.
No, there's serious talent in the PFL. Like there's a heavyweight PFL guy training at Manchester top team AB, and
no disrespect to him, but
no,
I don't know.
That's where I'm going with this. So he's sick, and he's on the way up, undefeated.
He's not going to secure $2 million.
He's not going to fight. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to fight Francis Ngannou. Like we need household names, and I feel like the only fight is John Jones.
But that's UFC being UFC, though, isn't it? That's how creme de la creme it is. There's nothing else.
And you see that the profits that they make though, but people argue about the fighter pay this and that. But I feel like if you market yourself, you get the pay you deserve, and two. like all this profit they're making, put into like PIs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what makes it the best company in the world.
Yeah.
That's why everyone wants to fight for them.
They're opening one in London, aren't they?
Yeah.
But have you ever heard someone on the low money complain about the money? It's always the top guys complaining about their amount.
Yeah.
You know who Joe Pfeiffer is? He fought on like the early prelims of an Apex show, and he started crying after the show. And I was like, he won. Dana gave him 50k, and just, gave him a year's rent. But like Dana said, I wasn't going to tell anyone. He said, I do it for loads of people. I just don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, he's that guy. He's not just out there stealing from.
This is the other thing that I think is like, let's say a standard UFC debut is probably 12.5 maybe. Like, so 12.5 show, 12.5 to win. And it's like, and someone will do that, and then let's say win. So they've got 25k. And then 6 months later they'll fight. And then they'll be like, there was that guy the other day that I've got $7 in my bank account. And it's like, what do you think you should get for debuting when no one's come to watch you? No one's tuned in. Like, you want 100 grand when no one gives a fuck about you fighting.
Look at these boxing cards. Like, a lot of these fighters are on full-time jobs still. You know what I mean, look at, for example, no disrespect to Levi, like, I see him as like a huge name, innit? And he still works. You know what I mean? A lot of these other, I know British champions are still working. So I think the divides too. It's all the top stars that are complaining.
I also think in terms of that, the working thing, like, it depends what you want in life. Like what you want right now. So I know like Russians that are living 5 to a room that do nothing but fight. And don't know if they've got enough money to get to the gym tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you can live that life, or if you want, like for me, I train twice a day, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
But I like a life of nice things.
Yeah.
So I have businesses and investments, and I have to commit time to that. I can't train. Because these guys will spend 6 hours. These days they'll turn up to the morning session, train, stay in the gym all day, train again, and you will probably realise a better result from that. But what if you don't make it? And that's the thought that obviously no one wants to have.
No.
But you need to be set up. So like someone like Levi, I think he's quite smart in the fact that he's got work ethic like I have never seen. Like he gets up to 6 a.m. 10 hours at work.
Than that. He's running. He does 2 miles before he even starts. So
he does 10 hours at work, and then boom, he's back in the gym. Like I do my 2 sessions a day, but I can be more flexible in my work. I can work from my laptop, boom, so it can be different. Like he's out there, physical labor, like that. But that is the mindset of a champion. Like
true, yeah. That separates him from everyone else, isn't it?
And I feel like obviously he takes his responsibilities very seriously. He's got a family, and as a man, you have to provide. Like it's all right saying you've got dreams and you're chasing, but I don't think you can argue. It's a tough subject, but I don't think you can argue that you're representing yourself the best if you're sacrificing everything and then your family's struggling. So, someone like Levi's just putting in more work to provide for his family and whatnot, and it is tough. But I feel like he's 1 or 2 fights away from living that complete boxing lifestyle. I think if the title fight might have gone his way, his next fight would have been bigger. But I feel like obviously when he gets the win on his next one, he's back into a big fight again.
I'm pretty sure this could be an eliminator. I don't know what's been said or not, but hopefully, and I mean, I can't wait to see him back on the big stage. Yeah. Whether it's in Grimsby or whether it's on TV, I mean.
I feel that's where he belongs as well. You know, when you see him go out on that, when he went out and did that title fight, like I was looking around, obviously, as being a fighter myself, thinking this is a big stage.
Yeah.
And I was looking around and I was thinking that the nerves going to get the better of him, and he came out and he embraced the moment.
Oh, yeah. Even, like, Michael pushed him, Michael Rose pushed him. I mean, you couldn't be more unprofessional than Gomez, acting like the huge star. And Levi, nothing more than professional. And, I mean, even though it was on a bit of a snoozer boxer card, I mean, he still put a show on, and I feel like he was the main draw there. I mean, he definitely wasn't a Coley. I mean, it's probably Fraz Clark. Him and Levi kind of drew the audience.
But what's going on with Fraser Clark? He's 32 and pulling out a purse spins. He needs to be.
No, he is. I mean, I love Fraz. Yeah, I mean, he's a legend on the pod. He has got the words. He said he had the best entrance ever. He done. Truly, I think he's going to be one of them. He's going to be a world champion. I'm sure of it.
Who do you think he's taking the title off?
I think I think he will fight for the title after Fury's gone. Fury's gone.
Yeah, he's only got a handful of fights really, hasn't he?
I mean, you got Fabio Wardley there.
Fabio's some talent. I've seen him firsthand, so
yeah. I think Frost takes him.
So, I don't. Suffolk Punch Gym where he trains. Yeah. I've got so when I was in the military and I was in 2-3 parachute engineer regiment.
Yeah.
My best friend there, Gideon Onyanani, a professional boxer himself, he took me down the gym, and that was actually Fabio Wardley's gym. So I've seen him in the gym.
Oh, really?
Hits hard, he trains hard, alongside obviously his coach Rob, and he's now working with Ben Davison as well. He's a beast. But I see the work them guys put in. Even Gideon. Gids, like he's been on a boxer card, he's been on a matchroom card.
Let's get him on the pod.
He'll definitely come on the pod. I'll speak to him. He is some serious talent. I'll tell you about an experience that we had. It was about 18 months after I left the army.
Yeah.
I was coming up to my debut on BMF, and I was smoking people in sparring. I was feeling sick. Thought I was the man, because me and Gids used to hit pads when I could barely even string of shots together.
Yeah.
I always used to hit hard though. It was like you punch hard, but like awful form.
Technique, yeah.
And I went down and I said, "Kids, let's do a session." And he's like, "Yeah, let's go on." So I said, "All right, let's have a spar. Let's have a few rounds." I said, "Can I keep my eye and have a few rounds?" And this is why MMA fighters should not do crossover to boxing, and why Jake Paul keeps knocking them all out, because we sparred like 3 rounds and I didn't hit him once. He just kept jabbing me in the face. So yeah, Gideon Onyanani, watch out, search him. He's got his comeback fight after a little layoff. Couple of losses on big fights. He's recently had he fought an Olympic medalist.
Sick.
Points decision there. Took him further than anyone's ever took him. And then recently on a matchroom card. Well, last year on a matchroom card, another one that went to points against an undefeated prospect. So he is definitely one to watch out for. He's back on a small haul. Back to winning ways in a few weeks, sometime in June, I think.
Well, make sure to check him out. And of course, as you said about Fabio Wardley, yeah, he's got a sick gym. I mean, you got training with Ben Davison, but has he ever been on the Fight Rundown? I mean,
we should get him on there.
Yeah, well, if you want to, you can.
We've got the path. We're gonna get Gids on, and then we're gonna get him to shout Fabio for you and see if we can get him on.
There we go. And then we'll have the Fraser Clark Fabio Wardley face off here.
Most definitely.
But yeah, to be fair, I think we'll wrap it up there. To be fair, I really enjoyed it. If you're cool with that,
yeah, of course. Belter.
Spot on. And
thank you.
Yeah, where can we follow you?
So it's just Max Barnett, 3 T's on that, straight on Instagram. Check out my sports company as well, ZBR Performance. So you'll see me repping them for most of my fights. Check out my latest sponsor, Exclusive Automotive, if you're looking for any vehicles. Sickest guys. So yeah, mainly use Instagram. Reach out to me there, follow me there. I'll get everyone back. But been a pleasure being on the Fight Rundown finally.
Spot on. Appreciate it, Max. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Nice. Pretty solid that.
Long one.